What's going on, everyone? Sinterview here, and welcome back to the Sinterview podcast. This is episode, I believe it is episode 4. Um, and this month we have someone very special. It is Mr. DataDave. He has 61.7K followers on Twitch. He is probably one of the best creators that I know. Known the guy for probably like a couple years now or something like that. Um, so of course the first thing I just want to ask you is how have you been?
I've been great, man. How have you been?
I haven't been too bad. I'm just tired for the most part, but like that's like a regular everyday thing.
Hey, I can understand that completely, man. I think it's
Yeah,
Wednesday
yeah,
indeed, man. It's
yeah,
another work week.
yeah. It's like middle of the week. I pretty much don't have weekends, two jobs, all that fun
Mhm.
stuff. Um, so what like the first questions I want to ask is how'd you like first decide that you wanted to start like streaming on Twitch and how that went along for you?
For me, honestly, it was just by happenstance, a series of circumstances. So I played a lot of Overwatch, which just came out with crossplay recently, which is pretty cool. So I'll get back into it. But at the time, Overwatch was pretty new for me, and I played with a good friend of mine from college. And one day, we were just playing together. He's like, "Hey, we're gonna join my coworker." And I'm like, "Cool, let's join him." He's like, "Just let you know, he's gonna be streaming." I'm like, "Streaming? Like what?" He's like, "Yeah, streaming on Twitch." I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." So we played with him. I looked at his live stream, saw he was streaming, interacted with chat, and I'm like, "Yo, that's so cool. I wish I could stream." And my friend was like, "Yeah, you can stream. Just get like a mic and get a webcam and just try it out." So went on Amazon, bought me a cheap mic, cheap webcam, put it to my pretty crap. I call it my crap top because my laptop really wasn't that great. It can run Overwatch, but it couldn't stream Overwatch. I'm sure
Yeah.
plenty of people been in that situation. So what I decided to stream was Undertale because it's a low budget game. One of my students told me about it. And I'm like, it's summertime, why not? So I streamed over Undertale. And my first stream, I got one viewer, and we talked about the game. He helped me get through it. We talked about anime shows, and it was just a really fun experience. And I'm like, wow, that was a great first stream. Then I streamed the next day. Then I streamed a little bit the next day, and I kept going each day, which is where my catchphrase at the time, but it still is my catchphrase, day to day with Data Dave. I had to say it slower. People are like, why are you saying Data Dave twice? Like, no,
Yeah.
it's a play off words. Day to day with Data Dave. Because at that point I streamed every day. In about 6 months, I got partnered. I think I went for like 380 something days straight. And now I take some more breaks in between, just because I'm balancing voice acting, working a job as a professor, and still maintaining and going my streams almost daily, 6 days out of the week. So it's just kind of something I fell into and said, hey, this is fun. And 5 years later, I'm like, oh my God, this still is fun. So I'm still doing it.
Yeah, like it only took you 6 months to get partnered.
Yeah,
Wow.
crazy, right?
That
I was,
dedication to streaming
I was
is
grind, I was
that's
grinding like
insane.
8 hours a day. It was crazy. I
Oh
don't
my god.
recommend people do 8 hours a day, but I was just addicted. I still
Yeah.
am addicted, but I'm trying to be like, let me be mindful. I'm a little older now.
Yeah. Like I remember like when I first started as well, it was pretty much like the same sort of scenario, like with like using like a laptop, mic and all that stuff. But like I remember doing like those 8 hour days when I was like I was like, screw it, I'll just do 8 hour days, call it a day, and yeah, I there's no possible way that I could ever do that for as long as you did.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't do that in present day now. I'm like, yo, after 5 hours, I'm like, okay, you know what? I should either sleep or get ready for work tomorrow.
And sleep is overrated, so you got ready for work.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like nowadays I stream like 6 hours like tops for the most part.
Mhm.
Just so that way it's still like a good like balance of everything, which is probably like the same reason why you do like your 5 hours as well.
Exactly. I'll just make the best content in those 5 hours and say, hey, I need to audition and work tomorrow. So let me get that going.
Yeah. Um. So speaking of like your voice acting stuff, I know that was like how recent was that they started getting into that?
Roughly about, we'll say, almost 3 years ago, I
Oh,
wanted to
really?
find something I could do alongside streaming.
Mm.
And I was like, well, I never took any acting classes. Voice acting seems cool. I watched a lot of Kagi films and I love seeing his success now
Mm.
being main characters of anime like Horiyama and all these other series and such. So I was like, I wonder could I do it too? So I just looked up a voice coach online, stuck with that voice coach for about a year before I was like, okay, I'm learning, but I need to really diversify my education. Let me take a coach focused on improvisation, on acting, on character, on commercial, So I just started
Mhm.
taking, even though it did cost a bit of money, it's not cheap for these classes. But I just started taking teacher workshop classes,
Yeah.
Like at one point, one of my coaches, Melanie Shartoff, I'm sure you know Rugrats, she was Dee
Yeah.
Dee Pickles. You know what I mean? I've taken
Oh,
Richard Horvitz class, that's Invader Zim. I've taken Crispin Freeman's class, he's in everything, and like he's since we talked about Overwatch, that's the voice of Winston.
yeah.
One of the coaches I'm still under now almost weekly is Gary L. Gray and AJ from Fairly Odd Parents. I think his name is like Sam from Rocket Power. Like these people have classes you can take. Like there's plenty of them. You'd be surprised.
Mhm.
Either workshops or classes, and you can learn so much from them. So yeah, it's been going good. I know, short question, long answer. It's
Yeah,
been
like
going well. I've
yeah,
just
it's all
been
good.
really diving and learning the craft of acting
Yeah.
and while auditioning and seeing what I land,
Yeah.
But it's always fun when you get like a really fun audition being like, yo, act crazy or be a villain, you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
fun in the audition process, but it's even better when I book, But
Yeah.
you'll see me in some stuff this year.
That would actually be sick. It's funny that you actually mentioned Kagi.
Mhm.
I remember I used to watch Kagi like all the time before he decided to switch over to like Twitch full time. Um,
Yeah.
and I ended up seeing like one of his like reaction videos to I think it was like a Dragon
Him and
Ball Z
Dragon Ball
rap.
Z.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
and I
did
think you were
Dragon
like
Ball.
Hercule or something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was Hercule. It was funny. I was like, "Oh, man, y'all really want me on this rap?" I was like, first off, I was filling in for somebody, because they needed somebody to switch roles or something like that. So they gave me lines like, "Dave, rap this for me." I'm like, "Sure, I'll do it." Game Boy Jones is my friend. I'll do it. And then all of a sudden, the video gets like millions of views, and I'm like, "One, I can't rap, but I deliver my lines." And I'm like, "Listen, I can't believe people listened and heard that."
Yeah, I mean, people were vibing with it, so
They
there you
really
go,
were. I'm
right?
just like, listen, I look back at that. I'm like, I'm glad it went well, but it's funny. The first time they're like, Dave, rap. I'm like, sure. Millions of views. Like, oh, okay, great.
Like, oh,
Not
wasn't
expecting. All
expecting
right.
this at all.
Exactly. It's like, I don't know how I got here, but hey, tune into my streams at twitch.tv/DataDave.
Yeah. I also saw that that voice crack. Oh my god.
I
Um,
get those all the time.
I feel like I haven't had one of those in like a while. Um, but like I saw that like recently that they like started like doing voice acting like over like webtoons and stuff on your streams as well. That actually seemed really interesting. What ended up making you want to bring that into like your streams and stuff?
Well, there's a couple of reasons. The first is I met the amazing and talented That Sea Monster. That's who I stream with every Wednesdays about 9 p.m. Eastern. And we read webtoons. So the crazy part about it is I met That Sea Monster at a convention. I think it was PAX East or something. And like, she had like I think how it went. She may remember differently. I may remember differently. But basically, she had like some phone wallpaper, I believe, with Danganronpa. I love Danganronpa.
Oh my
Like we would
god,
just sit
love
next
it.
to each other, and I was just like, "Oh, is that Danganronpa?" She's like, "Yeah," I'm like that. I'm like, "Oh, I like Danganronpa too." Then we start talking about anime. She loved the anime I like. Then we start talking about webtoons. She liked the webtoons. I like. We just were really like vibing. It's like I've never met you, but we just instantly clicked. And then me, I was still newer in the voice acting space. I talk about it. She's like, I do voice acting on my channel every Tuesday and Wednesdays. She does voice acting full time and audiobooks. It was just a cool connection, but
Hmm.
even beyond connection, it's just we just were like just nerding out over everything. We hung out at the convention. And I
Yeah,
was like, if it's okay, I'm still new with the voice acting. You mind if we just stream it together sometimes? So, I came in as a guest with her on Wednesdays. Not a bit. The first time I did it, golly, a year, 2 years ago. We've been doing this a lot. I was kind of nervous. Like, Dave gets a voice. Here's a voice. Dave gives another voice. Here's the same voice, but I think it's different. I was getting more comfortable into it.
yeah,
But I started doing that with her weekly. And now what's cool is I'm actually am a webtoon ambassador. It's now sponsored to do those streams that we do already that we would have done. Like there was nothing we had to do differently other than what we've been doing. So
yeah,
it's been cool to be there. And yeah, that's how I got into it. So it's just weekly practice to like code read these. Like I don't know what's going to happen next, these webtoons we read, but I need to give a voice to them and react and do the emotional work.
yeah,
So it's fun. And then Sea Monster, she's phenomenal. So she's already been a professional in the space. So that's how we just kind of got into it. I tag along with her on Wednesdays.
yeah. Actually, speaking of Danganronpa, I've played like the first two games. I still need to play the third one, but I've been so caught up in like other different games that I just keep putting it off. And I'm like, I need to play this soon. I ended up like getting myself caught up with like the anime because I was told to like watch that before playing three.
Yeah, I mean they're separate. Without giving details, three is his own thing, but the anime for one and two continues the story of two. It's really really
Yeah,
good. And
yeah,
another like food for thought on those episodes. There's two versions of two.
hmm
You got to watch episode one of the version two. Episode one, it's like episode one of future, one of despair, two of future, two of despair. Because like these stories explain each other. Highly recommend it. I loved it.
yeah. When I watched it, I just did like all of one and then all of the other, pretty much in like the span of like 2 days.
Ah, true. I understand.
Yeah, I just binged it and I was like, you know what, good enough. And then I was like, God, I want to play I want to play more of it, and like I
Mhm.
need to find the time.
It's a good, solid game.
Yeah, it's so godlike. Um, so so what was like one of your like main like one of like your biggest influences that actually pushed you to end up doing like voice acting?
I would still say Kagi Films to be honest, because watching him sing and do content creation and alongside
Hmm.
VA, and seeing his passion for it and success, it made me be like, hey, maybe I should try it out.
Hmm.
I'll give it a go. Maybe I could do that too and see where I end up. So I'll give him that, that interest to be like, hey, maybe I could do that alongside streaming. So I'd say that.
Yeah, like you just do like so much work in general with like the voice acting, the streaming, as well as like the being a professor.
Yep.
Um,
And now I host crazily enough too.
and a what?
A host.
A
I've
host? Oh
recently
yeah.
I've hosted two things for Twitch recently, the
Yeah.
moderation panel and this past Juneteenth, which I'm glad Twitch decided to celebrate Juneteenth. It's really
Hmm.
important. I hosted a channel, I hosted a Black Creators Celebration panel with DJ Knight, O'Cleo Jones, or Cleopatra Jones is her Twitch name, O'Cleo Jones is her Twitter, and Kiwi on the Sticks. And it was like, hey, Twitch is hosting you, do your thing. And during that panel, I was like, hey, I'm Dave. These are three other amazing people. They introduce themselves, and here are people we each watch. And we've had a video per person we made to show that person, to talk about them and celebrate them and highlight creators.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been cool and pretty nice.
Yeah, like I noticed like a lot of the things that you do, like especially on like Twitch and stuff, like you just put like so much like positivity into like the Twitch universe and stuff.
Yeah,
Like it's one of like it's like one of my favorite things like about you. I can pop into like any one of your streams. You're like all like you're all happy, upbeat, just like
yeah.
spreading positivity and stuff. Like I love that part of your streams.
Thank
Like
you, thank you.
I remember when like I first joined, you were doing like it was like Pokemon shiny hunting, all that fun stuff that
Mhm.
all of us do. Um,
Yeah.
and like even then, like you were super like nice to like everyone, even if like sometimes I'd see them being like super like degenerate, and you're just like still being
Mhm.
nice. I'm like I would have told them off or something. It's
Un-
like
Understandable,
yeah.
completely understandable. Thank you.
Yeah. So like before you became a professor, I'm assuming you probably went to school. What'd you end up going to school for?
I went for a school originally for a PhD. That's roughly the time I did start streaming. Like it was summertime, so I was like, not in school when I first started. But yeah, I
Mm,
was going for my PhD in computer science. And long story short, after a couple of years of doing it, I went for like 5 years. I decided to just walk out with my master's. I really
mhm.
wasn't too passionate about the PhD, but it would have took me like 3 more years because I wasn't super passionate about it.
Yeah.
So I got my master's in human centered computing, or really computer interaction. And then after that, I just was doing streaming until I would find a job. And I got the job offer as a professor 2 years ago. And I've just been
Okay.
teaching alongside streaming. I only teach it
Yeah.
part time.
Mhm. So what's if you don't mind me asking what do you teach?
I teach computer science, so still on
Oh,
brand
okay.
for that. Just computer
Yeah.
science courses, whether it be general, software engineering, etc.
Still staying with the data.
Exactly, that's what the catch for. That's what what name came from. DataDave,
Yeah,
computer
exactly.
scientist. I'm Dave.
Yeah. I also saw I think it was I don't remember how long ago it was, but it wasn't too long ago. But I saw that you were also on like that Hivemind game show that was hosted by Ludwig, and I think it was Moist, right? Moist Critical.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Indeed, indeed. I was on Hivemind. It was a very, 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 very cool ride. I actually won season one champion. And I walked in like we gonna lose almost every episode. Like we got through luckily, but we won 3 times and I'm officially the season one champion.
We gotta love that. What
Yeah.
what what was it like to just like be like to like start growing as like on like Twitch and like starting to become like one of like the bigger faces that a lot of people like
I don't
notice on
know.
there.
I still don't feel like I'm really like a huge face. I feel like I'm more so like a well-known face where it's like, oh yeah, we
Hmm.
know Dave. More so that. But I mean it feels cool, it feels like I'm doing the same thing that I've been doing, just kind of being me, meeting people, and they'll know of me. Like, I don't consider myself this huge content creator,
Yeah.
but there may be people that are huge or maybe smaller. Like, or maybe people that say, "Oh, I know Dave because he did XYZ, because he
Hmm.
hosted this, or because he was in Hive Mind, or because he's over here." So like, it's more so that. So I mean, it feels cool, but for me, it's just like sounds silly, but I'll say for me it's just like college. It's like not everybody knows you, but
Yeah.
the more people you meet, the more people like, oh, I know Dave. He's that guy that does that. So it
Yeah.
feels good.
Yeah. Uh, what since you've been teaching as a professor, has there been anyone that's like shown up that's been like in your class and was like, I've seen you from somewhere, and
Oh yeah, there's been a couple of cases of that. So the funniest one is before I started teaching at school, I did a Xenoblade Chronicle playthrough, Xenoblade 2 Chronicles playthrough months before, and there was this viewer named KVN. My first day of working on campus, one student looked at me. He said, "Data Dave," and I was like, "Who are you?" Like, because it caught me so off guard. Like, why does this person know me? And then I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, I know you from Twitch." I'm like, "Dude, what's your username?" He's like, "KVN." I'm like, "Yo, what?" This dude's been watching me for months, and ironically, he took multiple of my classes and did really well. He actually was a really hardworking student, but that was a crazy experience. And of course, students talk. So there have been a few students that have brought up like, "Oh, you stream?" Like, "Yeah, I do, I do." You didn't give
Yeah.
me a channel. Don't find it on your own.
Yeah.
But they end up finding, of course. But
Yeah.
not too many actively watch. But there have been some students that have, like probably like 3 or 4 that slid by. Like
Yeah.
KVN, he's been a watcher for me before I started teaching, even present day. So that's been pretty cool.
Yeah, that's actually kind of insane. Just like
Mhm.
you're just going to a job, and it's like, hey, day to day. You're like,
Like
who?
what?
What's going on?
Exactly. It's like,
I'm
identify yourself.
I'm not live right now. What's going on?
Right.
Who are you? How did you find me?
Hmm.
Um, so so you probably watch like I'm assuming that you probably watch like a lot of anime and stuff.
Yeah.
What from your perspective, what do you think is a an underrated anime and an overrated anime? Hit you with the
Ooh,
hard
that's a
one.
tough question. I gotta think about that one. Underrated, overrated. It's tough for me to give overrated. Because I feel like if I give an underrated one, it's gonna be something people love anyway. Cause like, oh, let me think. Overrated. All right, y'all can shoot me. Dragon Ball Z. I just feel like as much as I love it, I feel like it's more nostalgia more than it being good. Because I can't sit back and rewatch it anymore for one reason.
Hmm.
Because y'all know Dragon Ball Z Kakarot came out this year, and I bought it. I was really hyped to play it. And
Yeah,
then it's like we're starting with the story of Raditz. I turned the game off. I was like, I know it was gonna happen, but I was so bored because I was like, fam, I played this through Game Boy Advance, Budokai 1, Budokai 2. I played this on. I mean, luckily Fighters switched it up, but I'm just
yeah,
saying it's like it's the same story over and over and over. Like I'd rather see a Dragon Ball Z make a trash new story than the same story. So overrated for me for Dragon Ball Z just because it keeps
it
getting
just
used over and
yeah
over.
it just keeps recycling the same
Yeah,
like thing to
exactly.
it.
It's like, like I actually liked Fighters because they introduced Android 21.
Hmm.
Just because she was something different. I'm like, who is this character? What's the story? Now was the story in Fighters great? No, absolutely not. But it
Yeah,
was something new. That's what made it interesting.
yeah.
Underrated. Ooh, that's
I,
tough for me.
I'm just gonna quickly touch on that Dragon Ball one. Like
Sure.
that, like it's one of the reasons I actually enjoyed playing like Xenoverse and Xenoverse 2 as well, because like it did have like the same like stories to it,
Mm.
but but you're playing as a character that's not exactly from that story, but you're going in and like fixing the like the timeline or something like that. So
Exactly.
it does bring like that little bit of change that's like enough to make me actually want to play it.
Exactly. So that's what makes it cool. Like, long as something different happens. Underrated. I mean, I don't feel like it's underrated, but I'll be the guy. I'm just gonna go with JoJo's
Mhm.
because I know it gets a bad rep, but like the way I'd say JoJo's is it's animated Power Rangers. You know what I mean? We all love Power Rangers
Yeah.
to a degree. I don't know how people love it, but like JoJo's, it gets a bad rep, especially for the first season because it's a little boring. But if you can just turn off your brain a bit and just say, just watch it, enjoy it for what it's worth, in the craziness, it's a phenomenal series. Like
Yeah.
JoJo's is that series people either love or hate. And I'm like, look, just think Power Rangers, anime format over the top. You'll love it.
Yeah. Like what I think like when I was playing through the second Danganronpa game, there was a guy there's like one character in it. I forget
Mhm.
exactly what his name was, and I was like, he looks like he looks and acts like a JoJo character.
Mhm.
It, it was the most hysterical thing to me. I was like, I didn't know I was playing JoJo.
Right.
So for like a lot of the time that they have like been on like Twitch, what's one of like the most like memorable moments that you've had, like whether it was live stream or like something that has happened like because of Twitch?
Too many moments. I can't think of the one off the top of my head, to be honest. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I guess the first time I had the hugest rage of my life, well, not rage, but raid of my life. We were playing Warframe, which is random for me because the game didn't stick for me. And one guy he said it kind of weird. He's like, "Can I host here?" And I was like, "I'm sure you can host here." That dude raided for like 11,000 people, and I was just like, "Wait, what?"
Oh
Like
my
that.
god.
Apparently, it was Warframe was having Twitch drops, so a lot of people were watching it. And at that time, people get more drops the more you run the tutorial. And this guy was a speed runner, so he was the quickest one out there.
Hmm.
I'm not sure of his Twitch name because it was a foreign. That's why
Yeah.
when he tried to say, can I host here?" It was like that was a weird way to phrase it, but it's just he didn't speak English.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that was really cool. That was the highest view count at that time of my life, and it was a crazy one. The second one was actually very recent. Where I did the Pagoda Egg Roll stream, sponsor stream. It
Oh
was
yeah.
cool. And I brought a friend over. I had him plate. I had my phone upstairs as a camera, and we plated it egg roll. We plated the egg rolls and such while I'm streaming Monster Hunter. And every time we kill a monster, we say, "Put the egg rolls in." And chat was just all hype. It was an extremely high view count of viewers, and it was a fun time. So but I can name countless times. It's just those fun moments would be like, "Yeah, that happened."
Yeah, exactly. It's like one of those things where like that actually happened.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
one of those, and especially when it goes well.
And we gotta love those egg roll sponsorships.
Yeah, you got to indeed. They had some sleeper agents delivering it. The crazy part is, people in chat every time we said put the egg rolls in wins egg rolls, right?
Yeah.
Would you believe that the people that won during that 3 hour stream? Really, it was a 2 hour stream, but we'll say 3 hour stream. I started an hour early, and the people that won in that 2 hour period, they got the egg rolls delivered the exact same time.
Oh my god.
I think they had a DoorDash or something because I'm like, man,
They
just
must
imagine
have.
winning the raffle in 30 minutes and it's there 30 minutes later. It's like, wait, what?
That's
We had like 8 winners.
yeah, that's actually like super impressive. The fact that like
Yeah,
it got it. They're just saying streaming. I was like, oh yeah, I already got it. Like, what?
yeah,
Hold
that
on.
was that was insane to me. I didn't expect it. I was like, oh, that's different. All right.
Yeah, I mean, they were ready to go.
They were ready to go indeed. Put the egg rolls in.
What was it? Only like winners in like the in the states, or
Uh,
what? Or was
when
it like
I think it could have been anywhere to be honest, but coincidentally, we had all states winners.
yeah? Um. So like I ended up asking on Twitter like I normally do, see if like anyone has any questions for whoever like the guest is. Um. So we ended up getting one question from Maliners, um,
Oh,
and she asked how holy
okay,
I
words are hard. They're hard for me.
I struggle with words.
Same here.
um,
Words.
she asked how has your journey of being a voice actor been?
It's been really good. It's similar to Twitch in the sense of like it's just something I try to be like I don't really see myself in this space. And now as I'm getting more comfortable and going to years, going to classes, it's like, hey, I can actually consider myself a voice actor. It's been a really good journey. It's just fun. I went from being this thing like I'm gonna work super hard at it and do my best. Now it's like I'm loosening up and be like, look, we may book this role, we might not. Let's have fun in the audition and hope
Yeah,
I land it. And so it's just been fun. being like either using the voices in class. Sometime in person, I'll be goofing off with my fans, not fans, but friends, especially as we drink, to be like, "Hey, what's up, guys?" Like just some goofy stuff.
Yeah.
But it's been really fun. It's been fun. Like whether I end up super famous in anime or just a guy that can voice act really well, I'm really content with it and seeing where it goes and where I grow.
Yeah. What we keep going back to voice acting, but I don't care.
Feel free.
It it's great. Because like obviously I don't get to talk with like any sort of like voice actor really that often. So of
Mhm.
course it's gonna be like a bunch of questions. So like since voice acting, what's your favorite part that you have landed that you are able to talk about? Because like
Ooh, ain't as many, but let's see. Let me think. Parts that I've landed that I can't talk about. I'll just talk about the one on top of my head, but then there's gonna be others that exist. So right now, it's a kid that's ninth grade, I believe, called Know It All, Noah Dale. But the catch is he's called Know It All. You know what I mean?
mhm,
Everybody's name in this series and Jane Gumball's work was kind of a pun for a mystery meaty dub. And what was funny is I just got to be like, "Hey man, you don't know what you're talking about. I know the answer." Like just do it like that, and it was just
yeah,
funny playing him up always giving an answer like, "Oh, you ain't the smartest. You tried." That was a very smart aleck kid. So that was pretty fun. I think that's one of the roles I really enjoyed. Others I can't talk about, but that's one notable one I really enjoy.
yeah. Um, so I'm gonna go based right now off of like your day to day with Data Dave. I want to know how a day with Data Dave goes.
Sure.
Start to finish, how an average day is.
An average day for me, like just everything,
Everything.
man, too much. Too much. But my day is a constant balancing act because I want to make sure I work out. I want to make sure I have to teach, prep for teaching. Like each day is different. Like if I gave an example today this morning, prep for my classes probably like 9, 10. I had to get some food for my cat, had to pick up the lightning adapter for a sponsored stream I'm doing soon, run back, teach a class. Now I'm here after this, going to be to the sponsor stream. After that, I need to teach another class. At 5 o'clock, I got a little downtime. I should clean up or probably eat. That. And then I got that 5 to 7 period. Haven't worked out yet. Try to see if I can fit some time working out. Stream 7 to 12. After 12, I usually play video games with just my friends offline if I'm up or watch a show. Sleep. What's going on the schedule tomorrow? I constantly live by a checklist because there's just so many different for me, there's so many different moving parts that happen. Because like, even though I feel like that's a full day today, what happened is I have an audition today. Did I really work out today? Did I eat healthy? So it's just a constant balancing act because
Yeah.
there's some auditions I could be doing. There's always something I could be doing. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, exactly.
even though it's a hectic life, it's a balancing act. And even like, have I even called, let's say, my mom today, a friend, or a person I want to talk to? Like, it's just a balancing act of like filling this hour, filling this hour, filling this hour, filling this hour, and just seeing what I can do and can't do.
Yeah.
So it's a lot, but it's manageable and just really just gotta stay on my P's and Q's.
Yeah.
But I probably have all of today and tomorrow figured out. It's just
Yeah, I there's no way that I could do all that you do. Like I struggle just working and then coming home figuring out if I'm streaming or not. It's
mhm,
like I literally just wing everything in my life. I'm like, all right, can I do this? We'll see.
understandable, honestly.
Yeah, like pretty much when I was trying to schedule this podcast with you, I I'm like, all right, what time am I off this day? And like literally yesterday was when I found out that I got off early, and I was like, and I didn't think to even message you until like today. I'm like, hey, by the way, I can do this earlier if you want.
Mhm,
When in retrospect, I probably could have let you know yesterday, but
happens.
yeah, exactly.
It's just being flexible and working it out. That's the way I go, but still just trying to knock out that checklist.
Yeah,
Checklist don't get completed for a day. If it did, I'm gonna shock myself, but it's just a lot to knock out.
yeah, exactly. I honestly, I probably should start having like checklists and stuff because my mind just goes all over the place with everything.
I'm the same way. That's why I have it because it's like, oh, there's still like 10 things on here. Let me start.
Yeah, my girlfriend can be like, "Oh, I need you to do these things," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'll do them." I completely forget to do it. Did you do this? I'll do it right now.
Right. I write down everything because I'm the same way.
Yeah, that's definitely something I need to start doing. Um, and also since of course like this month is Pride Month.
Mhm.
One thing I do want to talk about is like um how'd you end up like coming out because I believe I saw that you posted that you came out
Oh,
like
yeah.
2 years
Yeah,
ago.
about
Yeah.
2, 3 years ago, I forgot what time it was. It's been a while, probably about 2.5, 3 years ago, probably 3 years ago now. How it came out, long story short, I just started to get to a point in my life, like, prior to coming out to my audience, to that I was like, honestly, this is a part of me. I'm more comfortable with it. I'd
Hmm.
rather people know. I started with my folks. Then, I started with some friends of mine. Some messages weren't received well.
Yeah.
Some were received really, really positively well. That's just life. But I just tried to get to the point that I just didn't want anybody in my life to be cool with me because you have this perception about me. But if you learn this one thing about me, you change your perception. You're just not friends. That has happened. That has
Yeah.
actually happened even amongst close friends. But it's just like I just was like, hey, you know what? If my audience don't mess with me, if I lose every single viewer, collaboration, mutual friend, whatever, I'd
Hmm.
rather me for being me and not let this one thing change your its perspective on me because I'm still the same Dave that way or not. So that I
Yeah.
did come out on Twitter by seeing Lil Nas X. He tweeted that, and I was like, wow, like he tweeted that when you're at the top of your game to your whole audience or whatever.
Yeah.
So I just quote tweeted and was like, hey, if you still mess with me, cool. If not, I mean, it's been nice knowing you. I'm the same message as this. And the positive reception, what's the word I'm looking for? The message was really positive from everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody that I knew, sponsors, people in my streaming community, viewers, they were just like, oh yeah, we still love you, Dave. You're still the same Dave. Don't change nothing. Like
Yeah.
I'll let my mods know. The funniest answer when my mods was like, oh, okay. So what are you streaming today? Like it just didn't matter to them, which was really cool.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
it was overall positive in all spaces. So
Yeah, that
yeah.
it, it's always good like seeing that like literally like nothing changes because like people have told me when they come out and I'm like, all right, cool, doesn't change anything about how I feel or anything. Like
Right.
it's like no, it isn't any sweat off my back. Like
Right.
if people are like uptight about it, like they can go away.
Absolutely.
That's like how I feel about it. Like there, I believe there's someone in like another community that I know who recently like ended up coming out as like as transgendered, and they're like, these are my
Mhm.
pronouns now. I want to go by this name. I'm like, yep, got it, no problem.
Right. It's like, cool.
Yeah,
It's just like,
exactly,
all right, nice.
exactly. It's like they're the same person. It doesn't really matter. Like that tells you
Exactly.
like I find sexuality just like it's one of those things where it's like you like what you like. If you if we like different things, whatever, it is what it is.
Exactly.
Like as long as you're being good to each other, there shouldn't be any sort of problem.
Exactly.
Um, all right, so I do have a little game that I like to play with all of my guests. I call it
Mhm.
One Has to Go.
Mhm.
I pick three things that you like, and you have to shoot one of them.
Sure.
Um, so this one, I actually thought about it because like a lot of people will do like games or something like that, but
Mhm.
this time we're going a different route because it kind of made this one a little bit easier. You have to either stop voice acting, streaming, or teaching.
Teaching.
Oh wow, that
It's like you made that way too easy for
oh
me.
god, all right.
In a heartbeat. It's like, ooh.
It's like done, easy, no
Done,
problem.
easy.
Yeah,
Yeah, my goal, future goals, I would love to be a full-time voice actor alongside streaming. That's the
yeah,
goal. You know what I mean? Like streaming,
yeah.
I'm there. Couldn't be full-time with what I make, but still I do make like a pretty penny that I like. But
Hmm.
I would like to be a full-time voice actor and streamer, and I'd be pretty happy. The teaching, I enjoy it, but I'm not like passionate about it. Like I'm one of those good teachers that's like, yeah, I'd rather do something else. But
Yeah,
since education is so important, I take my job seriously.
yeah,
But if I didn't have to do it tomorrow, I would not complain.
yeah, exactly. I feel like honestly, when I found out that that you were still like a professor and whatnot. I was like, really?
Yeah,
I 100% thought that you would have like already have switched to doing like Twitch and voice acting and stuff full time.
I
Like
wish,
like just
man.
like just doing you.
I
Yeah,
wish, but that's just how it goes. I just got to build my voice acting resume, build my skills as always. Start landing more and bigger roles. Get an agent. Now
yeah,
agent ready. So I'm just working at it.
yeah. That's all you really gotta do. Um.
Exactly.
So and like one thing for like um. Actually, I'm gonna go a different route with it with this question I was about to ask.
Sure.
If if there's one like anime or game or something like that you could voice a character in that you would just pick up immediately in a heartbeat if they asked you, what would it be?
Ooh, man. So I would want a series that would be ongoing. This isn't I'm trying to think on top of my head. This isn't my favorite series, but I would rock with Boruto only because your characters are going to keep coming back. I want something where if I do that role, you're still going to keep seeing the character over and over and over. If
Mhm.
not that, I mean, a My Hero Academia, anything that's going to like, hey, Dave's back. There's Dave. You know what I mean? Episode 100. You know
Yeah.
what? Fine, let's do One Piece. One Piece.
what One Piece,
Because like it
it's
won't
not
end.
ending.
I'll
It's
keep getting paid.
yeah,
But
it'll
just
never
something
end.
that you can see my guy and be like, hey, he's back. So that
Yeah,
some any series like that I would enjoy. Some longevity.
yeah. It if you were if you were able to voice act like any like type of game, what type of game what would you want to be a
Oh,
voice
I
act
got
for?
two. I got two for you right now.
All right.
Persona 6. Persona 6, make me a party member. I ain't even gotta have the main character because they're usually the silent protagonist.
Mhm.
But make me a Persona 6 character because I love that game and put me in the next Final Fantasy.
There you go,
I would
done.
love that.
Just,
I would love it.
just start calling up Squeenix? Is that
Yep.
who does Final Fantasy?
Square Enix. Apparently Square Enix. I've been calling it Square Enix for years, but
Yeah.
Square Enix. They
I've been
correctly be doing that
yeah.
sponsor thing. Or Smash Bros. You should put me in there.
Yeah, just throw DataDave in Smash Bros.
Basically,
Don't
Dave
even give him
joins
a
the
character.
game. Exactly. I'm here. Just put me in there.
Yeah. Um, I feel like I had another question. I'm drawing such a blank on these. Um,
Happens.
yeah, is what it is. Um, but yeah, so you seem like probably like a pretty like bu- busy guy. So I guess we probably could just wrap up the podcast here, even though it is a little bit on the short side. But like I mean, it is what it is. Give you a little bit of time to like rest up and
Sounds good.
and keep your day going with DataDave.
Indeed.
So of course go ahead, let the people know where they can find you.
All right, you can find me at twitch.tv/DataDave. Let me see if I grab the thing. Yes, right here, twitch.tv/DataDave. Catch me on Final Fantasy 14. Catch me on Mass Effect 2. I'm getting through that right now. It's kind of whatever else I want to play at the moment, like League of Legends. But thank you for having me again, man.
Hey, I appreciate you coming by and hopping onto the podcast. Um, yeah, thank you everyone so much for watching. If you guys are watching over on Spotify, go ahead, share it up. If you guys are watching over on YouTube, like button, comment, subscribe. Let me know who else you guys would like to see on the podcast. I'm still trying to get this podcast up on Apple Music, but it's being a pain in my rear end right now. For some reason, I try to like link my account, and it's like you need to activate your account. I'm like, it's active. What do you mean? So I'm trying to figure that out still. But when it's up there, it's up there. But I'm gonna get out of here. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.